Cam Irving with the knee, Gilmore with the quad, C.J. Henderson with the shoulder, Terrence Marshall with the concussion, Matt Paradis with the knee, and Shaq Thompson with the foot. With that, we'll open up the questions.
Matt, how Christian? I mean, he was out there today. How did all that look? How did Christian look today? I mean, out there practicing. Was
Yeah.
he full practice, limited? What was he?
I would say he was pretty limited. You know, not a ton of plays. Just trying to begin the process of working him back. You know, we've given him some time off. Hasn't practiced with us in several weeks, so this is his first day back. So we'll see how he looks tomorrow. You know, in terms of this weekend and his availability. See how he responds to this. But no setbacks out there today, which was good for the first step.
Was the injury to Sam's shoulder, was that the one where he got taken out of the game with a concussion too?
Yeah.
Was he limited, or we didn't see him out there during the portion of practice?
Yeah, he was extremely limited. You know, able to do some of the run through and stuff like that, but nothing more.
Did kind of the pre-practice, and then
Yeah, he was limited today to just pre-practice stuff and then drills, which so just extremely limited.
Still in the protocol, obviously.
Yeah, he's in the protocol. This was the next step for him. So Dr. Gritter and those guys will handle it moving forward. So we'll see how he responds to today. I don't know. I can't speak on that. I'm obviously hopeful. We're going, but I have to go through the process. So.
Given that there's a small chance, do you prepare solely as if PJ is the starter this week?
No, I think as coaches we prepare for everything. We prepare for who the third quarterback is. So we're preparing Sam. If he can go. Preparing PJ and James, and even the last game, Sam got knocked out of the game. PJ went in. He took a big hit on the speed option. We have to have the third guy ready in case something happens. So we're prepared for everything and just see where it ends up.
How do you think PJ practiced today?
PJ was good today. PJ was good today.
More than likely that Christian would be another week, do you think?
I don't know that. Like I said, it was just the first step. I mean, we've been through this before. I think the biggest thing is how he feels after today. So he got through the practice and. We go back, we check the GPS, did he open it up today? It was a little cool out there, check the GPS, check how he feels. So, like I said, it's just a process. We're getting started today. It took Steph 2 weeks to kind of come back and be ready to play, Stephon, and even then it was limited. Shaq was able to come back in kind of a week and a half. So, we'll see how Christian's body resumes. So, we're really getting Chuba, Amir, and Royce ready like we have been and see what happens with Christian.
Are you adding Pat Elflein to the roster? He's back out there.
He's still in his return to play window. I think that ends today, so there'll have to be some decisions made here pretty quickly based upon how he felt.
Changed, or the team changed, or McCaffrey changed what he's doing this time coming back versus the last time? Or has there been any change from last year, just the approach to it, whether it's his training, working, or anything like that?
No, I think it's been the same return to play process. I think we just gave him more time. Instead of, hey, come back, take a step back, come back, just not quite be there. I think the 3 weeks was sort of the thought process of give him 3 weeks just to heal, no practice, and now start revving him back up. So, I don't obviously get too into what they're doing, doctor-wise. I mean, they sort of handle that, and the PTs and the trainers and return to play. So they cleared him for practice now. So we'll start bringing him along, and whenever he's ready to go, we'll go.
What was the thought process in bringing Josh Love in and not seeking out a quarterback in the trade market?
Josh Love was kind of already something we were working on before anything happened with Sam. It was really not a reaction to Sam. That was just a guy that we liked, and just keep bringing guys in on the practice squad, getting eyes on people, seeing who fits, even for the future. So just really nothing with regards to that.
If Sam can't go, would you elevate Love or Morgan?
Love? No, Love's not a candidate to go up right now. He just got here.
If you were to add Pat tomorrow, do you like what the offensive line is, the way it's constructed, or would he be a person candidate to come back into?
Yeah, Pat's a guy that started for us and played well. He can play center. He can play both guards. We'd love to have Pat there. Again, he's coming back off of 6 weeks worth of an injury. Is he still? I'm not sure that I'm not even sure that he's back yet. So whenever he comes back, we'll have to evaluate where he is. Sometimes you come back and you're just not quite there yet. So the offensive line played better last week. We're practicing those 5 guys, and then the other guys we're just kind of bringing along. whenever we need him, whenever he's healthy to go.
Would you think you would activate him though?
I hope so. I mean, I hope he came off this today, last game, because if he goes back on IR, it's IR for the rest of the year. So I'm hoping that he can do it at the same time. We have to make tough decisions, in terms of if it's going to be several more weeks. So we'll see where he's at. But he was out there today, so I'm hoping I'm going to go in here a little bit, see Scott, and see the trainers, and everything looks good.
The fact that you guys did not go get somebody other than a practice squad quarterback, does that speak to, and I know concussions are serious, but that there's some optimism that Sam won't be out an extended period of time?
I mean, I think he's already got to this point of the protocol where he can be limited. So I mean, I think that speaks to you that it's not. Hopefully, I mean, but it's a protocol. I don't get too involved in it. I don't get at all involved in it. Let me say that. So, but it was one of those deals where, hey, he's at this point. So I think the fact that he was allowed to be at practice and all that says it's not a. Hopefully, now we have to see how things go.
Amir provided you guys with the jolt offensively. What does he really bring to the table in that running back room?
First of all, he's really tough. Okay, he's a tough guy. Like, he likes to play, he likes to practice, he likes to block, likes to play on special teams, likes to prepare. He's a true pro. I'll go upstairs and watch the practice tape and come back after the guys all leave. Come back downstairs, and I'm pretty sure he'll be walking around doing something. I mean, he's a true pro's pro, but he's got great vision. He's got an explosiveness. He can run routes. He can catch. I mean, he learned everything, in 4 or 5 days, because he's been around. So I think he brings tremendous versatility, and I like what Chuba's been doing. I like what Royce has been doing, and Amir, I think, just added on to that.
You talked about, I think you were asked about Stephon and possibly getting an increased role. You said it depends on how he responds, by how did he look, how's it been since then, and could you envision an increased role?
Yeah, so Stephon came out of last game healthy. So I'm excited about that. He practiced today, how much more, at this point, coming off of what I don't know how much more he'll play, it might be that same, third down role that he had this past week, but it was a step in the right direction. So could that be amplified a little bit more? I don't know. We'll see how kind of this week goes. It's one of those deals where, you kind of have to look at it every day and see, hey, did the knee swell up? Did the calf? And, just kind of deal with it. So whether it's Shaq, whether it's Justin, whether it's all these guys, it's just sort of a daily, like, hey, check the injury report, see how they're at, and then respond. So we'd love to have Stephon, out there, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Now, what went into your decision to start Trent at right guard, knowing that he hadn't played that position in a game before, and you had Brady and other guys who might have had more experience?
He had, he'd gone in the game before, the week before, and just like the way he played. Trent's really a smart, tough guy. He's got length, got long arms. He's going to do what he's supposed to do. He's not going to get fooled. He's not going to go the wrong way. He's not going to make a mistake. Cares a lot about the team. He's truly tough mentally and physically. So, we practiced last week, and we practiced hard last week, and he practiced well, so we gave him the start. Brady's going to be a really good player. He's kind of going through that process right now. Dennis Daly's a guy that's played for us inside and outside. So all those guys are up and available, but just felt like Trent was the guy that gave us the best chance to win last week, and I think it worked out.
Did you notice PJ preparing any differently, considering he could be the guy this week?
No, PJ and Sam and James, really, they're in here all hours of the night. They're in here on their off days. They are true grinders. They're in here at all times. So I think that's one of the things that I respect a lot about PJ and about James is they prepare at that level, even though they're not the starter, which is pretty cool. And I think that fuels Sam on. So they'll be in here all the time.
And did PJ get the first team reps in practice today?
Got all the reps.
What do you see that the New England does well on offense and defense as you prepare for them?
Well, New England's a great team. I mean, they play complementary football at the highest level. They're physical. I mean, this is a really physical team. Downhill run game. They're going to punish people. I love the fullback. The offensive line is physical. They get downhill. Tailback runs hard. Explosive play-action passing game. They utilize everyone in the play-action passing game. And then, I think Mac's playing really well. He protects the ball, makes good decisions. He's really accurate down the field. Throws a really catchable ball. They've got great skill. You got guys who can get open. Defensively, I mean, they take away the run. They play man coverage. You know, you got Devin McCourty back there, and he makes everything right for them. I mean, he's excellent. A lot of different looks, a lot of different personnel groupings, and so they're a team. They're a team that kind of we want to be. They run the football, they play action it, they protect the football, they don't beat themselves. They win the field position battle with elite special teams. Olszewski last week was really special with his punt returns. I mean, he has been for a long time. And then defensively, they give you nothing, and they take away the run, they make you throw it, they play man coverage, they challenge you. So it's going to be a real challenge. They're a really, really, really a good team. I mean, they have got great players, but just the way they play together is just it's something for everyone to look at in terms of, hey, this is how team is constructed.
Matt, you've known PJ for a long time, obviously. How have you kind of helped him or tried to help him over the years know when to kind of try to make the play and when to dial it back and be protective of the football?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's PJ's biggest thing that he has to be better at. I mean, even going the game, the play last week. I mean, I got on him on the sideline in ways I don't get on many guys. I mean, he just can't do that. And when he went in and played last year against Detroit, I mean, he had some of our most explosive plays of the year, but then he had 2 red zone turnovers that you can't have. And so I think part of it is understanding that, when you put your backup quarterback in most games, the deck's slightly tilted against you, so you can kind of put a game manager in there who's going to hand the ball off, or you can put a guy in there that has a chance to make some plays. PJ can make some plays. He's just got to discipline that with good decision making and protecting the football. And so, if PJ protects the football, he can move teams. I was really disappointed in that play, but also it speaks to the confidence Joe and them have that he ran speed option the first play, he ran the rollout the next play. I mean, he can do some things. He just has to make better decisions.
We've heard you.
On that, I'm sorry, Joe.
That's all right.
On that particular play, though, I wanted to ask you, because PJ mentioned that too and said, Coach yelled at me and then I yelled back. And I just wonder if you could sort of explain that moment a little more. And then also, is that because you guys have known each other for so long that there's sort of almost a different level of relationship?
Yeah, and I yell at some other guys too during the game. I try not to yell too much. I believe the game is for the players. But when you have got, we're not going to tolerate silly decisions. But I'm also like, against the Giants, I yelled something to Hassan to slide in, and it gave the guy, and I walked off the field. I said, that was so stupid, Hassan, I'm sorry. So like, I think I hope if there's anything I do good, I take a lot of responsibility for a lot of things. Sometimes I take responsibility for things that probably aren't really me, but it's like, I think that's what a leader does. He gets out front and just says, hey, it's on me. So I think the guys usually respond to that, but I usually try to do it in a soft way. PJ's one of those guys who, PJ's just tough, and he responds to those things, and so I don't remember what he yelled back at me. I think he said something like, the guy came up the field, and I said, throw it away, and then after that, he came off the field, and I said, throw that ball away, and he was like, I got it. So, but, I've gotten on Sam too. I've handled Sam in different ways. I'm getting to know Sam way better now, and last week. And I do want to go back and say one thing about Sam. Like, I thought for Sam to go through what he went through with the Giants and then come out, I mean, there wasn't a guy on our team that in the locker room wasn't all in on Sam after the way he played, and the physicality and the running and the big throws he made. So I was proud of Sam for that. But, PJ's always been a winner. He's tough. He just has to make good decisions.
What did that game last year against Detroit, how does that affect your comfort level with him going into this game this week if you have to start him against New England?
Yeah, just let us know that he can push the ball down the field. He can recognize, like in that game, we had a drive concept and saw man coverage, and he alerted the corner out for a touchdown, right? Like threw the deep ball down the sideline. He could scramble around and make some plays. So did a lot of good things, but then he threw 2 picks in the red zone. So to me, what I've said to him is, your ability to get on the field and play is impacted by your decision making, as are all quarterbacks, right? So, I've said we've put PJ in a lot of tough situations. Hey, we're down 14. Hey, go in there and try to make something happen. I don't really pay too much attention to what happened in those. I try to eliminate that. That's a separate category for me. But in the Lions game and in this game, just making good decisions down around the red zone, I think, is really important for him.
We've heard you kind of, especially with like DJ, describe some of the things he does off the ball. And I know it was a short sample size, but as you watch the tape of Gilmore on Sunday, did you see anything from him kind of that might not have been apparent to people just watching the ball?
It's a really good question. I'm sorry, I have to make sure I think really most things I've noticed with Stephon are at practice. He does things at practice, like things that you'll coach guys on for like a year. Like, hey, when 2 goes away, do this, and then he kind of does it naturally, and then kind of illuminates it for everybody else. Like, oh, got it. And then that's kind of the benefit of having veteran players that are really good players. I thought, in the game, I think, he went out there and he took Kyle Pitts man to man, played him man, had the one, defensive holding, but, had some really nice plays there. He defensed him. He has a great lateral movement. He can play bump and run. He, step and replaces, but when he's off, he can see everything. So he's, really truly an excellent player, but also just sort of seeing things, and from all his experience. And he puts a lot of work in, puts a lot of time in. We flew back and he came right here, and I drove home. He came here and started rehabbing to get ready for the next game. So he's a true pro's pro. Doesn't say much, but his actions speak so loudly. You really probably can't hear what he's saying sometimes. So after Atlanta.
Matt, you were talking about all the qualities of the Patriots a little bit ago. With Bill Belichick, what separates him from other coaches, and what makes him so good at what he does?
Yeah, I don't have much right to even speak on Coach Belichick. He's the greatest. I couldn't even pretend to say like this is what makes. Everything. He's won all different ways with different players. He's had so many different guys come through his team and his system, and he's found a way to get it done. So he's someone that's unique when you're a college coach, head coach. You're studying guys. So like all these years that I've studied Coach Belichick, and one of the men that was influential in my career and in my life was Wayne Harden, who was the head coach at Temple, but also was the head coach at Navy, and coached with Coach Belichick's father, and used to always say to me, if you ever have a chance to meet Coach Belichick, make sure you go up and introduce yourself, and I want you to get to know him. And so obviously I haven't had much chance to get to know Coach Belichick, but he's just someone that I've always looked up to and studied, and so to have a chance to coach, in the same field with him, obviously will be an honor. But I think the biggest thing is that, I can't say I've studied every team, but it looks like he has a total program. Everything's integrated. They play together. They play the same style. It's 6 minutes left on the last football game. They have the lead, and their guys are all getting to the boundary and sliding, like just elite, like time management, time awareness, situational awareness that is impacted by everybody. Last year we had a guy reach the ball across the goal line. Some guys asked me, like, why do you do that? You watch their team. They catch the ball at the 1 yard line. They got 5 points of ball security. Ain't nobody reaching the ball to the goal line. They are just culturally, they're not going to beat themselves. They do things the right way. It's elite football. So it's really cool to watch. Obviously we'll have a chance to play it, and hopefully we play well too.
But you've never had a chance to meet him in person? Or?
Just in passing. We were 2 years ago, we were going to play each other. We talked a little bit about that, and then I saw him at a pro day this year, but nothing of substance.
Zane Gonzalez did a game ball last Sunday, and if you could talk about what you've learned about him as a player.
Going back to the game balls, Zane did get a game ball. Yes, Zane got a game ball. Yeah, sorry. It's hard for me to go backwards sometimes. Yes, and he deserved one. I just think he's gotten better and better and better. To go out there and kick those long field goals with a new holder, that's elite mental toughness. They had Cordell Patterson back there, so do we squib it? A lot of people squibbed it. We kicked the ball deep, and he kicked them through the end zone. So he's just gotten better and better and better every week, gotten in a groove and playing well right now, and we'll have to continue that this week.
This one, and then Steve. Steve, you go first, and last one from Ellis.
Okay, I'm sorry. Matt, a little bit off the beaten path, but Al Holcomb has been a coach that's been around the league a long time. You knew him up in New York. Why'd you bring him in here, and what are his qualities as a coach?
Well, I think Al's one of the top assistant coaches in the National Football League. He's been a defensive coordinator. Really should be one of those guys who is a coordinator candidate and should be a head coaching candidate. He's excellent with players, excellent schematically, great teacher, patient, a leader. So, I worked with Al. It was like me, Kevin Gilbride, who's here, him. There was 4 of us had the back hallway at the Giants. And, Al's worked his way through the ranks and came here, and then obviously had tremendous success here and has moved on. Then when I had a chance to get back here, I was bringing guys that I knew, that worked for me at Baylor, and I wanted NFL guys to also, complement the staff and blend the staffs. But I wanted guys who were great teachers that were going to be invested in the players and developing players, and I knew that was Al. And just so happened he was available. His family was still right here, has a house here, so it worked out. And I thought, Steve, that he'd be able to bring a lot to us in terms of third down and blitz packages and pressure packages, because that's really where college and the NFL is different, right? Now it's getting way more similar. Like some of these games, you feel like you're playing Oklahoma State, but that's where I thought there'd be a lot, to bring from Al. So he's done that, and last year he spent a lot of time with Chin, and then this year he's really, him and Don have really taken, Burns and Hassan, and I think you've seen the level of production. So I think Al's a tremendous coach and someone that people should pay attention to.
You've mentioned how effective the quarterback run was for you guys in Atlanta. Of course, that was a play that Sam's injured on. So, as a coach, how do you balance maximizing the quarterback run while still protecting your quarterback?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and something I've kind of studied a little bit over the time. Most quarterbacks really get hurt and hit in the pocket. So I think every time you drop back, you're putting the quarterback at risk. You'd like quarterbacks to get on those plays and then get down and not take that hit. I think when you see what Sam saw, Tommy Tremble came around and kind of blocked one. He had a chance to maybe score, and then the guy came out of nowhere. So typically, I'd want him to get up, and then we have a lead blocker in front of him and get down. I think he saw a chance to score and went for it. And then last week, a lot of those were just, hey, third down scramble plays. I think it just brings a whole other element to the defense, right? And that's one of the reasons why we have Sam and we have Phillip, is because on third down, when the quarterback can pull the ball down and convert third downs, I think he converted 3 with his feet, 3 third downs and 6 total first downs. It changes the way you rush. You no longer can be quite as aggressive on the edges. And I think you go back to even like the kind of previous 2 or 3 games, we had not really taken advantage of that quite as much. So Sam's been really good for us down in the red zone running the football, and then I think adding that in third down, and then whenever he does come back, I think he recognizes that's a really big part of his game. He was a high school basketball player, could have been a college basketball player. He's got quickness, he's got speed, he's got movement. He should utilize it and be a I'm not saying he's gonna be a true dual threat, but he can provide a threat, and so. That's something we encouraged him. I hate that he got hurt doing it on the quarterback zone read. We'd like him to get down and not take those hits. But, he slid on the play before and got hit. So, he's taking some big hits in the pocket. It's just kind of part of playing quarterback, and we'll just try to just help him, not get hit when we can.
Protecting and sliding?
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say, we've just kind of always talked about it. We don't really slide in practice. I don't, maybe we should. But, just kind of that timing of getting down and not taking the big hit. And he hasn't taken many of them on those things, but obviously took one on that one.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt. Matt, do you usually call him PJ or Phillip?
practice or week 3?
For me, it's just knowing that I got to get these reps and be efficient, just to go out there and move the offense, So for me, it's just going out there, taking it one play at a time, don't rush anything, stay calm, and just relax.
How much did the starting experience last year against Detroit, how does that help you potentially start this week if you're called upon?
It helps a lot, just because it's just, I know where to prepare mentally, I know where to go, know what to do, and just honestly, just mentally, going into the week, knowing that you're gonna get these reps and knowing that you're gonna probably be the guy going. So for me, it's just go out there and prepare as a starter, prepare like I'm gonna play.
Matt mentioned red zone decision making is something that he wanted you to work on, not only from that game but from what happened last week.
Yep.
How do you go through that in practice?
It's all this is mental. It's not a physical thing. For me, it's just if I don't see something there, either throw it away or run it. Don't just try to make plays. I think that's where I get caught up at, trying to make too many plays and trying to do too much. I could just let the first down, throw the ball away, let it play the next down. So I just got to have that first down, check down mentality down in the red zone.
How tough is that to break, though? Because when it's that really nice low-hanging fruit, you want to take a big bite of it, you still got to resist that urge.
Yeah, it's hard to resist it, but this is my job, and in order for me to continue to do this job, I got to do what's right for the offense and do what's right for the team, and that's protect the football. So even though I really want to make those plays, if they're not there, I just can't make them.
I think you said that you go into this week kind of thinking you'll probably be the guy. Is that easier than last year? The Detroit game went right up to the pregame.
Absolutely. Last year was another story in itself. Just going into the week, leading up to it, preparing for it. I think now it's just more so I'm just going out there and getting in the rhythm again with the guys and having them guys hear me. Having them guys hear me in the huddle. Not as many voices as that Detroit game. So just hearing me, hear how I call things, and the patience in and out of the huddle, the cadence, all those small little things. I just want to be sharp with this week.
PJ, how many reps a day do you get in practice as the backup compared to what you got today?
Yeah, I get a ton of reps. They mainly scout reps though, of the other opponent. So that's really I get a good amount of reps, but for me it's just not the same as our offensive reps. I'm running the other team offense, but I try to marry their offense and our offense up to the same, just to going into the week knowing if we do something like this week versus that scout rep, it's all the same. Football is football. A lot of these plays are the same, so I just try to put them together.
Is it like so 50 versus 10, or what's kind of the breakdown?
It's about 50 and 50. So Sam will get all the reps with the ones, and when we doing scout team, I'll take all the reps with the scout team. So it's all the same. It's just not the same reps. It's just not the same plays.
What's it like preparing for the unknown? How do you keep yourself sharp and ready?
As a backup, you prepare for the unknown every week. You don't know what's going to happen throughout the game, and just got to always stay ready and be ready. And that's something I'm trying to start taking pride in, and always just being ready when the number's called and just going out there executing, being sharp, and doing positive things for the offense.
PJ, what are your impressions of the Patriots defense that seemed to really turn things up a notch the past couple of games?
Yeah, I think they've been playing pretty well. I think they've done a great job just forcing turnovers. They play a great sound defense. They ain't gonna let you beat them defensively, and we just got to take what's there, take what's in front of us, and get the ball in our playmakers' hands and let them make plays.
Is there anything in particular this week that you want to work on since you're going to be the starter this week that you want to get it down and practice pretty good?
Just being more efficient. Quicker in my reads. I feel like I'm at a good pace with my reads, but just more so finding that back a little faster, or getting the ball to the flats a little faster. Not hanging on them routes downfield a little longer than I usually do.
Are you complementing that with any more film study more than usual, or what else?
Same amount of film study. Put a lot of work in throughout the week over the past couple of weeks. As a quarterback room, we put a lot of work in and prepare for each week. All together. So for me, it's just go out there and slow down. I play fast, and just gotta slow myself down a little bit.
Came over
through any additional help this week to get you right?
Man, Sam, we talk constantly all day, you know, throughout the day, especially when we are here at work. You know, we feed off of each other. We feed off of each other's feedback, and we just help each other off. We help each other throughout the week and tell each other what we see. You know, if I see something, it might benefit him. If he sees something, it might benefit me. So we just try to help each other and feed off one another as well.
PJ, what would you say your greatest area of improvement is from last year's start against Detroit to now?
Just this knowing this system, and knowing where to go with the football. I would say for the most part, I think I know where to go with the ball. You know, I think I've played in the game versus the Giants where I wasn't as efficient as I wanted to be, missed a few throws and things like that. But overall, just knowing where to go with the football, I think I've done a great job with that, and that's the most important thing to me.
PJ, how do you sort of kind of find that line or straddle that line where you want to be, like you said, kind of make the good decisions, but you don't want to overthink things and take away from your athleticism?
Yeah, it's a fine line, but it's the game. You know, it's something that us as players we have to adjust to. If something's not going to work and hasn't been working, you know, I threw 2 interceptions in the red zone last year versus Detroit. Can't have that. That's 14 points. That's 6 points. That's them swings. You know, so for me, we got to protect the football. Play a pretty good game if I protect the football last year, you know. So for me, it's just more so just protecting the football. You know, stop doing too much. You know, it ain't there. It ain't there. Just throw it away. You ain't got to go out there and be a playmaker on every down.
PJ, as you were watching the game last week before you went in, is that how you and the team want the offense to look with the balance and the run and the pass and everything? And, you know, obviously it changes when you go in, you know, after an injury, that sort of thing. Your view changes. But is that the way you want to try to replicate this week?
Yes, you know, but it's what we do as an offense. If we are able to run the ball over and over again, we're going to continue to run the ball. If we got to throw the ball, we got to throw the ball. You know, we just got to be efficient. We got to make those plays and get the ball in our playmakers' hands and let them guys handle everything that we need to, you know, as quarterbacks. You could turn a bubble route into a 10, 15-yard gain, you know. So for all those small ways to just get the ball in our playmakers' hands, let's get the ball in their hands and let them make plays for us.
How would you describe yourself as a runner, quarterback versus a sample?
I would say in my past I was pretty good, but now it's more so just get what I can get and get down, you know, for the most part. It's a lot faster game, so for me it's just get what I can get and get down. You know, it's nothing wrong with getting 8, nothing wrong with getting 7. Those are positive gains in this offense. Those are positive gains in any offense. You just getting positive yards, falling for 8 or 7 is good. So for me, you ain't gonna see too many guys hit the big home run runs at quarterback. So for me, it's just get what you can get and just get down.
What did you learn running that June Jones XFL offense that's helped you?
Yes, it was different from this system. You know, that June Jones XFL was more so everything was a lot more downfield. We threw the ball a lot downfield, and it's just the efficiency that we have to play with in the NFL. You know, you don't really get the opportunity to get those deep balls over and over and over again. You know, playing in this league, so you get opportunities, but you got to take advantage of them when you get them.
Called you a true grinder.
Yeah.
But are your hours even longer this week, knowing you'd probably be the starter?
Yeah, just coming in here working, you know, just getting to it, you know, expecting to play, and always just going out here and getting better. Whatever I can do to help the quarterback room, this team, to get better and go out here and compete and play at a high level, I'm going to do it. You know, anything it takes to win on Sunday, I'll be there for it.
Matt had told us a story. I don't know if you remember it. But you said he saw you play in high school and you took the team on a 90-something yard drive.
Yeah, 99.
Yeah, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was one of those games, man. It was my senior year. We lost the year before my junior year to the same team, and it was a close game. It was like 34-31 going into the fourth quarter with like 1:30 left, 13. We got to stop on the 1-yard line, and we was able to drive the ball down the field, 3 plays, 99 yards to win a state championship. But that's old news. But for me, it's just more so like it's football at the end of the day, you know. So we just got to go out there. Them guys gonna put their cleats on and tie them up like we are. So at the end of the day, just got to go out there and be ready to go play.
Did you know Matt Rhule was watching? Did you know Matt Rhule was watching?
Did I know he was watching? Probably not. Probably not, but, you know, I figured he'll find out at some point, you know, then. So I was committed to the school at the time too, so I'm pretty sure he was gonna find out.
Building off that, what does Coach Rhule mean to you off the field? He's seen you grow as a young man.
Yeah, it means a lot. Just the way he approached the game, the way he coached, the way his style of coaching is. For me, it's pretty much a lot of what I know, and that's all I know because I've been there with him for 4 years in college, and that's the expertise I seen. That's the the model that I seen when I was there, and I just know it as that. So for me, it's just knowing what he brings to the table, knowing what he wants, just knowing him as a person as well helps me and gives me a lot of confidence to go out there and just play my game.
He was talking about, Coach was talking about you and your play earlier with us, and at times he called you PJ, a couple other times he called you Philip.
Yeah.
What does he call you when he's happy with you? What does he call you when he's not happy with you?
It's PJ when he's happy. It's Philip when he's pissed. It's like my mom, to be honest. It's PJ when things are going good, but when things ain't going too good, it's Philip. So for me, I'm always prepared for the Philip, and I expect to be called PJ though throughout the game. So I prepare myself going into the game, and I'm gonna be doing what I need to do throughout this game to be called PJ. So I don't really want to hear the Philip name that much throughout the game. If I hear that name a lot, that means I ain't doing too well throughout the day.
Talk about the exchange you guys had on the sidelines where
it was just
you came back at him.
Yeah.
Is that the point of the question? Is the relationship you guys have? You're comfortable enough that you can clap back a little bit and get your point across and have that intense discussion, but at the end of the day, you're still rolling yours the same direction.
Yeah, it was just me. It was loud enough. It was like a lot of noise, so I'm pretty sure it probably got taken out the wrong way. It was just me yelling and trying to tell him what I saw, or things like that. But I understood it. I understood why he yelled, and I understood the reason behind it. And for me, I just got to make a better decision.
Is that a Philip moment?
Yes, it is for sure.
We got one more.
During your time with the Colts in the XFL, did you and Coach Rhule stay in touch?
Yeah, we did throughout those seasons. We always stayed in touch. Once he went off to Baylor and things like that, we just texted on and off. Not as much, but on and off, and we always stayed in touch.
And then your time in the XFL, you passing leader and yardage. What did that teach you about your ability to produce at the NFL level?
I knew I can, whether I played in the XFL or not, to be honest. But just going out there, having an opportunity though, and being able to go out there and show that I can do it consistently was important to me. I took pride in it, and it was something that I just felt like I needed to do. As a player, just so I could get a lot of these guys. I really wanted to get the film, and that's what a lot of guys that was out there playing was on the same type time I was just out there trying to get the film and just going out there showing these guys that we can go out here and play. It's football at the end of the day, and we can make all these plays. It's just all about the opportunity in front of you. When you get the chance, you got to take full advantage of it. Thank you.
Tuesday, replay 99.
questions for Robbie so I can get him the meetings, please?
Yo, Robbie, how you feeling today?
I feel amazing today. I'm blessed, thankful, had a good day on the practice field, excited for Sunday. Feel great today. Thanks for asking.
How did you recover from the hit on Sunday? How did you feel then, and how did you come back from that?
I just had to catch my breath, you know what I'm saying? It's really just the wind got knocked out of me. I was just trying to catch my breath. That's it. I came back that same drive, so, it's football,
What do you think about, kind of what happened after, kind of how your teammates kind of got in there when, I can't remember the guy's name, was celebrating. But what did you see that after the fact? There was kind of a little scuffle after, the guy who hit you, I think, was celebrating, Sam Franklin kind of got in his face. There was a little scuffle after. I was wondering if you saw that and what you think about it. If you didn't,
I think I was laying down with the trainers around me. I think it's kind of obvious.
That's what I meant.
No, I ain't see all that, but that's what, what I'm saying? That's what they gonna do, what I'm saying? That's my teammates. We soldiers, what I'm saying? We go to war together, what I'm saying? They gonna stand up for me. That's what real brothers do. But now I ain't see.
It looked like you were sort of walking, trying to stay away from the doctors a little bit. At least was that true? Afterwards, like, you didn't want to go in the injury tent?
Yeah, because I was trying to get back to the game. They thought I had a concussion. I knew I didn't have a concussion. I knew it was really just the wind got knocked out of me, so I was just trying to hurry up and get back.
And talk about getting the onside kick at the end. You got your hands on the ball there when y'all really needed it.
Yeah, for sure. We knew the year before too that they kicker, he's pretty good at onside, so we had spent a lot of time emphasizing that last week on Friday and Saturday, just being prepared for that.
Robbie, the play that you got hit, that was the only time you were targeted during that game. How do you keep yourself focused when you don't have the same amount of activity you're used to having?
Just knowing the game plan, and kind of like our focus last week was knowing that we were going to win that game by running the ball. So me being prepared, knowing that I'm going to have to block, and give my all, it's a team sport, the ultimate goal, like I always say, is to win. So, that's simple as that.
What is the extra work like to try and refamiliarize yourself in playing with PJ, if in fact he's the guy on Sunday?
It's a little different for me because I played with PJ in college, and PJ is one of my closest friends. So that the communication, the chemistry part of it, that's been there for years, and me and him talk on the daily. You know what I'm saying? So that part of it's a little easy, and then we take reps in practice on routes on air, so it's not too much. It's not like it's a brand new quarterback. It's a little different, so it's kind of a different optic for me.
What does he give you guys? What is it like to play with him?
I think, PJ's he's a go-getter. He's gonna give his all. He's a smart quarterback. He understands the system, and his ultimate goal is to win.
That hit on Sunday makes some people think about you putting on more weight. Has that been something that people have talked to you about, or can you talk about you and putting on weight and your views on that for you?
Nah, I ain't know nobody never. 175 solid, you know what I'm saying? Been that since I came in, So my coaches, I'm good, you know what I'm saying? If I was walking around in a wheelchair, not no disrespect, but that'd be different. But
So a hit like that doesn't make you think about, hey, let's try to put on.
if I had on dudes that be 400, 350 get concussions and get knocked out the game, you know what I'm saying? I came right back. You know what I'm saying? That don't, how big you are. You could be 300, 200 pounds and still get a concussion.
Probably back on PJ. Was his game at Temple a lot like we see now?
Yeah. PJ, his first year, it was like my breakout year, my redshirt sophomore year, freshman, we was spread offense. So, he was a gunslinger. And we had a lot of, his first year playing, we had a lot of games that came down to it. But, he's going to play relentless, and he's going to fight to the end.
What impressed you most about PJ? Was there anything that you saw, what was it, the impression most during that time?
When
When y'all were together at Temple?
I would say, I remember his first game was against, I think he came in against Louisville like right before the half. And he came in like he came in, he like, you know that saying, stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And, you know, when this time came, he just took off, you know.
I know there's not as many guys left over from when you last played the Patriots with the Jets, but is there an advantage you might have in having seen this team before and the way that they go about scheming things?
Well, you know, I look at their team, I look at their team like I'm going against Bill Belichick, you know, and Tom Brady. You know, Tom's not there obviously, but I know how they gonna come regardless of who's on that team. I know the type of system that Bill Belichick is running with that defense and the tenacity and the style of playing, the things they do. So I know it's gonna be a war, you know what I'm saying? I know the key to beating the Patriots is playing fundamental sound football. And I've seen it since my rookie year at the Jets. If you give them a turnover, the team turn over the ball, that's what makes the difference in that game, is just, you know, just doing all the little things correctly against them.
You've struggled some against them over your career too. What has Bill Belichick always done to Robbie Anderson?
I mean, when I played him, from what I can like remember, he usually would like put man coverage and safety over top and scheme me, do things like that, kind of take me out the picture. And he even like told me that too. Last year when I was in free agency, he tried to get me to sign that. He was like, you know, I'm tired of scheming against you, tired of going against you.
He tried to sign you in the free agency?
Yeah.
Did you ever consider that seriously?
Yeah, of course. It was one of the teams I did consider.
What was the kind of deciding factor? Did it come down to the Patriots and Panthers?
It came down to them and a couple other teams, but, you know, just, you know, business decision.
Robbie, back on the Patriots, how often did you match up against, or did Gilmore match up against you, and what was he like? What was that matchup like?
It was a challenge. Me and Gilmore, my first year, he was still in Buffalo. My second year, I want to say the first time we played them, I don't think he played that game. Malcolm Butler was matched up on me. And then because, you know, we played them twice a year. Then the second time that year, Malcolm Butler was matched up on me. He was following me. And then my third year, I think that's when he started following me. And it was a challenge, you know. He's one of the stronger, bigger corners. And then with having that safety over top, and then us kind of not really game planning to that, it was tough, you know.
What have you kind of learned about Gilmore since he's been here?
He works hard, smart dude, you know, professional. Does all the little things, you know, that entails with being great.
Robbie, have you managed to stay not frustrated this year despite the lack of production and fewer targets, fewer catches, and all that?
Yeah, you got to, you know what I'm saying? If I don't, you know, I don't really try, like the type of person I am, I don't live like in a negative place in life, you know what I'm saying? I stay positive, and, you know, I trust God and his timing, you know, and just got to rely on my faith and just continue to get better and improve on my craft. And, you know, probably feel like in life I've been through, you know, worse obstacles, you know. Ultimately, we're 4-2-0 in the NFC South, so that's my pride and my joy, you know. My role is gonna come, you know what I'm saying? So just continue to work, improve, and get better.
We'll do a couple more. We asked you a few weeks ago, but I just want to ask you again about what's different for you this year than last year, with kind of lead on Scott's question about the production. You had one target last week, and I know you said whenever you guys win, it kind of doesn't matter as much. It's still overall.
I mean, a lot of things are different from this year to last year. Last year was 2020, this year is 2021. So I could go down the list of a bunch of different things that's different, but it's last year, this year, you know.
I could ask you, you mentioned your relationship with PJ and how close the two of you are. Something he just said when he was in here was him really trying to focus on the mental side of the game and not trying to do too much. Is that something that the two of you have discussed or even you've offered any advice on how to balance that?
You know, I don't really like certain things like that. I don't, you know, step out of place. Like, I'm not a coach, you know, so I don't try and like tell a player how they should play. Like my position, I give suggestions, but like when it comes down to quarterback, I'm not a quarterback, so I won't really like you know, overspeak. You know what I'm saying? I think that PJ is a grown man. He's mature. Him and his coach, they know what he needs to work on. You know, I think the best thing for me to do is focus on what I need to work on, you know, and focus on myself and what I need to get done to help everybody and help the team.
I was even asking just as a friend in terms of being able to just sort of take some of the pressure off, if that's ever a discussion.
Nah, I think he's got it down pat, you know. I think that he knows what he needs to do. All right.